Honestly, watching that intro with lo-fi music in the background that I got going on was kind of satisfying to watch. Anyways, hi, my name is Imports. Welcome to Dropped Gears. I'm one of the hosts and the head admin of Evo, and with me, my co-hosts are with me as well as always. We're already at our sixth episode, so that means we've been doing this for 6 weeks. We're kind of insane, but anyways. Chatters, introduce yourself. Lime, go ahead.
Someone say what is this normal intro? It's working now after 6 episodes. Hello everyone, it's Lime. I'm in the content creator part of Evo, and this is Drop Gears Buddies. Doing alright today. I'm kinda tired, but alright. What about you, Shorty?
Hello, I'm considerably better than last week. Gladly. Yeah, hi, I'm Shorty. Thank you for listening. I'm glad we are finally back, and I'm also happy that today we have a little bit of a different episode. I think Import is gonna run you down to that shortly, but first of all, I just want to say it's Shorty, not Shorts, and Import may explain why I'm saying that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to that later, but yeah, last time I checked, you're not shorts, you are shorty. You don't wear shorts, or do you wear shorts? That's the question.
Rarely. Basically never.
Are you
Wow.
sure?
Not anymore. I used to be as a kid. I mean, people always ask why do you choose the name Shorty? Well, it kind of wasn't really because of my height. It was just meant as a fun nickname because my old nickname Toby Rausch was too long, so I needed a shorter name. And back in the day, I was in some kind of team that was called Very Short Players, or something similar, like not the actual team VSP that people know, but something similar. So it was like kind of a word joke I made, and it just stuck to now. Yeah.
And now we're Shorty.
Now we are shorty.
Yep.
Interesting.
Always.
Well, thank you guys for joining in. Thank you for everybody who's watching right now live, and also for the individuals who are tuning into our Spotify podcast. If you haven't followed our Spotify podcast, you should. Or if you haven't followed us on Twitch or Twitter or YouTube, do that thing as well. Also, we're still looking for feedback, and so far we've been getting very good positive feedback, but the feedback has kind of been getting a little bit less and less. So if you guys have things that you would like to see change in the future about the podcast or the show, just let us know. Wow, that rhymed. How nice. Anyways, so yeah, if you don't know how it works here in this podcast, besides me sounding like an idiot and talking all the time, we kind of go over really quickly what's happening in the esports world in Trackmania, and then also we kind of talk about some other topics about kind of literally everything and anything we want because it's our show, and so that's kind of how we're gonna go. So let's go ahead and start with our first recap, and that is going to be the regional recap for Asia there. Shorty, would you run us down the standings for that regional?
Or the regional. Oh god, that's the only standings that didn't open. Great.
Ooh,
Yeah, the podcast
yeah,
is going as usual now.
I like the only thing I know about the regionals actually is how Evo did.
okay.
So
Well, Lime, you can see the standings. Give it a shot.
Yeah, it's on the first place. It says Bobby IDN. I
Mhm.
actually didn't watch any of this, so I have no idea. Second place, Dynasty. Is third, Asia Overdrive. I have no idea for any of these teams. Can you believe that?
Congratulations, you literally are the same exact as the rest of Trackmania because everybody kind of who
Ooh.
megalals these people. Yeah, so like if you're in
But
the
I
Apex
like that
scene,
at least we have people playing, because
yeah,
it's something. And the scene is growing there, seems like so.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, so from insider knowledge of what insider knowledge I have, according to SRK and those who are involved or knowing of who's who, sort of in the Asia regional community, it's kind of popping off right now because there are a lot of Asian orgs looking into Trackmania as a way of kind of showing up their brand. Ferox Industries is one of them. They're an Australian clothing brand. They recently picked up
Oh,
a deal.
really?
Yeah, a bunch of nobodies, not gonna lie, but like they feel that they can get a spotlight in the regional league for themselves, and these smaller regions, specifically like Middle East Africa, APAC, even NCSA, they find these regional tournaments these regional tournaments very valuable for them as branding. But also what they're wanting is kind of more like leagues rather than necessarily just a tournament each month. And we might see World Tour eventually move to a format where it's kind of regional leagues rather than just like a once a month tournament. But we'll see how it goes in the future. But that's it for APAC. Next is going to be EU, I'm assuming, right? Yeah. Hey, look, there we are. And it is going to be Shorty. Now you should have these standings. Really mad.
Don't.
You don't? Wait, not even these either,
don't?
bro?
I
I
can
found
read
them
it.
literally every single week. I found them, and now I'm trying, but I can't.
Or you're in the mud, bro.
I am.
Alright.
I'm literally in the mud.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's Serotonin Events 1 this week, which is what people thought was going to happen I say this month. People thought that Serotonin Events was going to win it as coming in as the first seed. I mean, it's Milo and Matuz, so they're really good players, and everybody kind of expected them to win. The kind of surpriser was Ascent, who was the first seed, or not the first seed, but the winner from last regional. They ended up tied for 5th. They went out in the quarterfinal. But just to quickly go over all the standings, it's Serotonin Events at the top, Projet Blue Lock in second, Glorious Esport and Mint tied at third. Mint repeating their previous placements as last time because tied for 5th, Ascent, Team Jail, Evo, Pink, and CC MEC Prod all finished that. So yeah, Evo unfortunately ended up in a rematch against Mint, and kind of the issue that happened in that matchup, since we're Evo and we're going to talk about an Evo match, so fight me.
Yeah, of course we have to talk about you. I was
I
about
found
to
it, by
ask
the
what
way.
happened and why we are
Finally.
almost
Too
at the
little, too late,
bottom.
Shorty. You're fired.
I should be.
The match, honestly, at first it was kind of looking rough because Mint already was up 2-0. Actually, they went up 3-0. So Mint goes up 3-0, basically, and the nerves and the frustrations on the side of Evo Pink were definitely evident. Nerves first map and kind of into the second map, but then third map was like full tilt. And then somehow out of nowhere, we get to the fourth map and things start changing around. And in the fourth map, which was, I think it was Back and Forth, is actually what the map we won on. No, wait, Back and Forth was the one we Giga trolled on. Trying to remember what the fourth map was. Either way, it doesn't matter. It was Gyroscope. That's right. Okay, so yeah, so the map that Evo lost against Mint in the last regional, Evo comes around and actually pretty much destroys Mint on Gyroscope. The map that Rozzy is extremely good at, he struggled on for whatever reason. Still made an insanely good time, a 55-2 from what I remember. But yeah, Evo got a really early lead at the start. They got an ace and then a victory in the first 2 rounds, and then they were able to carry that early advantage to the end. And then it started almost looking like a reverse sweep. They won the second game afterwards, immediately after that. And then we got into the third map, which was Reps. And unfortunately, Deska was just kind of in the mud. That's the only way I can explain it. Stuffs was carrying really well, but Deska really struggled on that identity. And it ended up 4-2 in the favor of Mint. So same exact score as last time, but just kind of a different way of going about it. But Evo honestly could have won that. They, overall, in every single map, even the maps that they lost, they had a faster pace, but their mistakes, they were making really dumb mistakes that they never make, like just bonking in walls, like that normally they wouldn't even ever come close to, just making really weird wall touches and mistakes that it was frustrating to watch and cast. I had to cast it. I couldn't be there as the coach sitting in the channel with them, telling them to calm the heck down. And they were just like, oh, so we still have review to do that, but that's kind of how it went for Evo. And honestly, I think it lit a fire under them because they really want to come out guns a-blazing for this third one. So yeah.
Maybe it was just tilting. I mean, when you play Trackmania, every time that you crash or you touch a wall, it's like, oh man, again, and then again, and then again.
Yeah. I mean, the first two maps were definitely nerves. Like, you could tell that they were just like, they were in their own heads really badly. And then the third map was just full on like tilt, where they were making really dumb mistakes. They were actually tied with Mint for the majority of the map until like the mid latter halfway points, where Deska was running into light posts and everything that were like 5 years away from the actual line that he's supposed to be on. So yeah,
it was mostly on their side losing than actually Mint playing amazingly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really.
I think not really saw them, but I heard all the matches on the first day. I tried to watch as much as I could, and they looked really strong. So I didn't watch that last match against Mint, but if you say that they made stupid mistakes, I think they definitely do have like the pace and also the consistency. I think they just had a pretty bad match there.
Yeah. Ironically, the map that they didn't have pace on compared to Rozzy, because really it's the Rozzy show. Like, Tricky's good, he's fast, but what usually it's Rozzy carries. And then when Rozzy makes a mistake, the good thing for Rozzy is that Tricky is consistent, but he's slow. Mm-hmm. So you have that's their dynamic. But Rozzy was only faster than Deska and Stuffs on Gyroscope, which is the map they lost. Every other map, Deska and Stuffs had the advantage of at least 0.2 or 3 into the identity, and then the identity just kind of went out the wayside.
That's somehow a huge advantage. Well.
Shit happens. At least they are still top 8, which is
which is the goal.
Kind of, so it's could be worse.
Yeah, and they're 6th seed right now overall for World Cup and promo relegations at the moment. So they're in a good spot right now, and they have a somewhat of a point padding. So I think they could easily make promo relegations. I don't think necessarily at the point that they're playing right now with the nervousness and the mistakes that they're making that they're capable of getting a challenger. But if they would just
need a mental coach really quickly.
Yeah. Well,
is there any mental coach in the chat right now?
Funny thing is, so day one, I was their mental coach. So day one, I was in the voice channel with them, basically being the coach, like doing the calls for them.
Allowed?
I don't know, but I've been doing it and they haven't said it.
Yes. It's. I mean, it's maybe a bit weird because technically I'm the coach and not Import.
True.
But I think Import is also allowed to be on the servers, just as me.
I'm a team,
only one of
team
us.
manager.
Like, we couldn't be both on there, but one of us on there is fine.
Yeah. So I'm a team manager, but also I can get the caster thing as a TMGL caster. So either way, I can get into the server. So yeah, I sit in the call. The first day, it was really calm. Everything was able to keep the things in check. Second day, I had to cast, which drove me insane. Because I think me potentially being in there, I don't think me alone would have saved that game. But I do think that me being in there, giving calls and information would have at least put some of their nerves at ease, because I know Deska kind of relies on the calls to an extent, because he doesn't check like Stuffs does. Stuffs like flickers his UI off and on like every 2 seconds, which would drive me insane.
Like a league player.
Yeah, like a league player. He's like APMing his his UI. But Deska, he kind of relies on knowing that, and if he knows that he has a lead, he relaxes. But if anytime he thinks he has to risk, he immediately makes a mistake. and I mentioned that in the cast too. I was like, anytime that Deska or Stuffs thinks that they have to risk, which they should, which them playing normal is risking, like honestly. So when they say they're risking, they immediately lose focus and they crash almost immediately afterwards every time they've said it so far.
Yeah.
And so trying to keep them away from that mentality is like really important. And I think I could have done that if I was in there, but unfortunately I wasn't. So they were constantly always thinking they had to like
push
make
and
up
test the
and
limits.
push and so
Oh man.
yeah, I think that was the major issue. But anyways, we talked about this for too long. Evo
Actually,
will come back stronger than ever. Let's go on to TMCO really quickly. We're just going to glaze over this. Alternate attacks, Omino, Sun, Sprout. I said it right this time. All three of those, they are tied for first at 3. Well, they're not tied for thirst. First. Alternate attacks is in first. Omino's Sun is second. Sprout is third because of the map difference points. Excuse me. Schweine Aim and Orcs GP Numalops. Schweine Aim is fourth. Orcs GP Numalops is fifth. BS Plus competition is sixth. Easy Dream and Exalti, they are tied for seventh. They are both in the mud at 1 and 3 with a map difference of 8 compared to BS Plus, who is also 1 and 3, but they have a map difference of 5. And there's only 1 week left to play for TMCL, and that is going to start at 5 p.m.
There are 3.
Why couldn't they have just done it at the same time as TM2? Whatever, man. I don't. This league is so.
You don't like it? I think it's funny.
TMCL,
I haven't watched it though.
I like attacks, and funny thing is, I say this because I'm actually. By the way, I'm casting for attacks on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Because Boney is going to be at Gamax, and Boney is the caster for attacks. So I will be casting the attacks BS Plus match for attacks. Anyways, yeah, this league though, like beside attacks and Schweine Aim, I really could care less. Because it's kind of a bunch of mid-range teams, and I really only think I don't even think it. I don't know if any of them could beat a Team GL team, to be honest. Maybe Sinners, but that's about it. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. So Easy
Maybe
Dream.
Sprout, actually. Oh no.
No, I disagree.
No.
No.
Definitely they can. But
Maybe.
anyway, you don't have to discuss that now.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
Easy Dream,
no.
Orcs Numalops is going to start at 5 p.m. Central European time, followed by Exalti Sprout, then Attacks BS Plus at 7, which I will be casting. You should come check me out. I don't know where I'm going to be casting, though. Omino Sun and Schweine Aim Racing are going to be match of the week, as they are both vying for first place. So, or no. Omino is still, whatever. Anyways, TMGL, this is the one that matters the most. BDS, they lost their first match, but they are still in first. BDS is now 5-1 in first place, followed by Solari Gamers first, Carmine Corp second through fourth, respectively. Then it is ITB and Alliance sitting 3-3, and then unfortunately in the mud, those who have been eliminated from playoffs for TMGL is Big at 1-5 and Sinners at 0-6. Yeah, not too much to say about that, but since we're pretty much at the end of TMGO, we have 1 week left, but it's kind of whatever at this point. Is the standings for you both expected?
No.
I'm actually sad that the last week doesn't really matter for the playoffs, because that's. I mean, at least it doesn't.
It matters for the top 4.
Yeah, it matters for the top 4, but it doesn't really matter for who gets into the playoffs. So a little bit unlucky, I guess, but overall, I would not have expected. I think, I said it. That's really difficult to predict that. I think early on with Sinners losing the first couple of matches, you could have predicted that it's going to continue like that, even if you obviously don't. Like, nobody would want that, of course, but other than that, all of those matches are super close, basically. Like you have 1 or 2 close matches every single week, and I think this playdate, just looking at the results, like every single match has been like super close, basically. So it's hard to predict, I would say, but it's it's sad.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for example, for Big, Personally, I never expect them to go out of on playoff.
I think Big had like a close match literally every single
They
weekday.
had every single match. It
The only
was
blowout
really
match they had was
close
against
winning.
Sinners.
Yes,
Yes.
something similar with Sinners. So it's like it's hard for me to say now which team I would like to see, for example, out of playoff. When I've seen everyone playing,
Yeah,
it's
it's not like
it's
any
a
team
hard
underperformed,
decision,
right?
you know. It's they were fighting for perfection, you know, and the standing now is so sad. This standing is reflective of what they were trying to do and they were trying to fight for, and it's just sad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of expected Sinners to be on the bottom half. I just didn't think that they would go 0-6, which is really sad to me.
Yeah.
Especially those first couple weeks where they seemed like kind of competitive, but then yeah, you could just tell they kind of gave up for the rest. I mean, they tried even against this last match against Alliance, but they just are kind of in the mud when it comes to this map pack and their style of play. Like they did well on slowdown. They can do well on certain maps, but a lot of the other maps are just not their style. And even if it were their style, I don't know necessarily that they would perform at the top level. I think it would just make them a bottom middle to a middle tier. And I know it's probably terrible as like the official caster for Sinners, but I have to be realistic right now.
It's okay to be realistic when stuff like this happens. It doesn't make you go against the team or anything.
Yeah. I still root for them and everything, but yeah, it's one of those things where they just have some major skill issues that they have to address. Like if they really are just like one style tech Andes, then Trackmania Grand League is not for them.
Yeah, that is one thing. The team that adopted the best is the team that is gonna be on the front, and they are tech Andes. Also, Gecko told me that. And they just didn't adapt to the new maps. They didn't adapt to the new strategies and identities. So they are not bad players at all. They are magnificent players, but they just didn't adapt to the new meta, and it shows.
Yeah, and you can tell that too. You can tell that too by their automatic ban of like gyroscope every map, every game. Like they just refuse to play gyroscope, and I think it's one of those maps that if you. Yeah, like it's honestly gyroscope. I don't think is the problem. I think the problem is just their lack of ability to play other styles.
Yeah. I mean, if you as a team, no matter who your opponent is, always ban the same map, then I don't think that's the right strategy, and I think that just shows that they have like skill-wise a problem with that kind of map.
That's like regional. That's regional team level of banning. Like regional teams will ban their worst map.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes obviously it makes sense if that's.
Oh, he died. So maybe he will come back.
Shorty.
Shorty just died. Anyways, what I think he was gonna say is like it shouldn't matter what map you pick. And once you there he is. Shorty, you're back. Hello. Your internet completely died, my guy.
Amazing.
So don't forget to show your camera too for the live people. But we understood what you were saying. You were saying basically that it shouldn't matter what map it be. If they're playing at TMGL level, they should be able to play every map. And
not necessarily play at every map, but if you have a map that you're so bad on that you can't pick it or play it against any other team in the whole league, then that's a problem.
Yeah, that's fair. And he's back on the camera too. Nice. Killing it. All right. Well, that's it for TMGL. Now the schedule. So Sunday, February 26th, is going to be the last week of TMGL before the playoffs. Man, I got a belch. I should have not drank that last gulp of soda there. 5 p.m. Central European time is going to be the first match is going to be Big versus BDS. Then followed afterwards is going to be ITB versus Sinners. Unfortunately, I'm going to be honest, folks. The first two matches really only matter for BDS and ITB. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter for ITB because ITB stuck in the 5th and 6th spot. So actually, it doesn't even matter for ITB. For BDS, it does matter if they want to be able to stay in the top 2. But they kind of have some padding with win over the rest of their other 3 opponents. Alliance and Carmine Corp, this matters for Carmine Corp more for that top 2 seeding. With their win over BDS, Carmine Corp's riding on a high, so that should be pretty exciting for them. Alliance, they're also in the same situation as ITB. They're stuck in the 5th and 6th position, so it doesn't really matter whether they win or lose. They're guaranteed playoffs. Match of the week is going to be G1 versus Solari. This does matter. This is why it's the match of the week, because it actually does matter. It is a fight between 2 of the top 4 teams trying to get into the top 2 for that bye week in that playoff, and it should be a pretty spicy match. G1 riding on a high still. A close call against Big, almost losing that match, but able to clutch it out. And then Solari been playing pretty dominantly, so that should be an exciting match. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Central European time, and that is it for our TMWT
report
recap
of the week.
And now for the weather. Lime.
It's 4 degrees
such a
here
nice
in
voice for
Hamburg.
that.
It's 4 degrees there?
Yes, it's 4.
Oh.
Actually,
well,
it's
that
really
makes
warm.
sense. Today was 12 Celsius, and it was actually nice. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Clear sky. Actually, it wasn't clear skies. It was kind of like foggy today, but still 12 Celsius. It was nice.
Every day is cloudy and ugly here in Hamburg, but I'm getting used to that.
Yep, for sure. Well, if you didn't pay attention to those watching our live show, and I'll explain it for those in Spotify, we played a video at the beginning of this before the show started, and we already posted this video on our YouTube and made a big Twitter announcement on Monday at 4 p.m. You should check out that video if you haven't already on our YouTube channel. That's Evo Trackmania. And we announced that a team that has been long known in Trackmania for a very long time has now left their org and has merged into Evo. So all the boys from the Trackmania division in MNM Gaming have left MNM Gaming and moved into Evo. So we have absorbed an entire tech and mixed team division into Evo. So now we can be even bigger than before and be the attention whores that we strive to be. And yeah, so yeah, that's what happened. MNM is part of us now. MNM is dead. MNM, the org, is still staying alive. And you should check out the interview that we did too, because we actually did a short stream with an interview with Speedy, and we'll have Speedy on, I think, next week is what I told Speedy. And he'll kind of give us a little history rundown again as well. But yeah, Speedy, it basically explained that MNM as an org kind of ignored the Trackmania division after a while. And it got so bad to the point where they just couldn't stay there anymore. And so they were looking for a new home, and they thought, hey, why not reach out to the evil guys? And so Speedy slid in my DMs, and I freaked out, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Speedy. What the heck, bro? And then, yeah. So that's how
I played like one season for MNM, so I'm also happy to hear that news.
Yeah. And I know some people are sad about MNM not being in Trackmania anymore, but they still are. The people that made up MNM are still in Trackmania. They're just under a different name, and it happens to be a better one. That's all I have to say about that. But yeah, I'm super happy for the I need to stop calling them the MNM guys. I'm so happy for our new tech and mixed guys that have joined Evo, and I'm super excited for 2023.
Can you mention them? Can we mention them?
I mean, we can. There's so many of them.
Also, don't forget the new Evo New World division that has formed because of it.
Wait, what?
The New World division.
Oh yes, we now have an Evo New World team in the New World Online, the Amazon game things. Yeah.
Is it bad that I don't even know what that game is? Should I know that, or
New World? It was like
feel
the most top in MMO when it first
I
came
feel like
out.
if you would show me the game, I would remember, but just purely with the name, I don't.
Fair.
New World RPG thingies?
It's not my type of game anyway.
So I can give you a list of the people that I can see physically right now. So that would be Astronomia, Azil, Insane. Azil is carp for carp.
Yeah, Carpenestra.
Insane, Nevermind, Nico, Nitro Faint, Pep, Zebi, Speedy, Vake, Zephyr, BT, Min 2002. I don't know if these Discord names are accurate to their Ubisoft names. PMS, Pex, Scarperp, Scotty, and Vortex.
If you're in the chat, type 1.
Yeah.
Also-
if you're in the chat, BT is beat.
On
Yeah,
Spotify,
also-
you can like it.
I have to clarify that New World Division thing was a joke. We do not have an official New World Division. We just like to play
Really
it together.
Yes, that's fair. Which I haven't played it in like a week because busy. Yeah, so that's been exciting. I'm super excited for them to have joined us, and I think there's going to be so many cool things. Also, if you haven't known already, the tech community has been working on a project trying to get a revive. Well, not revive, but like not only maintain the competitive tech side, but revive it in a way that there's a tech circuit, kind of like how FMS Full Speed Major is done, and they're trying to do a tech tournament circuit. And Speedy and some of the other guys in MNM are involved in trying to get that set up and everything. And I'm super excited for them. I'm super happy to support them in that endeavor if and when they need it. So I think it's just a happy marriage that we have been able to kind of successfully have. And they're looking for a platform. We are that platform, I think, in Trackmania to celebrate their victories and support them through their losses. And yeah, it's going to be a fantastic, wonderful time this year. And so many more things coming this year as well that we've already mentioned in previous podcasts. So you should go listen to those in your own time if you haven't already. Really mad. Now.
So fast.
I mean, we're going to talk with Speedy next week, so we're going to talk about the details with that.
Woo.
Yeah. So now it's the topic says story time, but really we felt like we're already attention horse. So go ahead. Leave it. Take it away.
I was thinking because the past 2 weeks we have had guests here in the podcast, and they have talked about their story and how they got into the position they are right now and everything. And we somehow always hint about what we have done in the past, but we haven't really talked about what we have done in the past in details. So I thought that it was a good idea for today's podcast to talk about our history in esports or in Trackmania and how we got into the position we are today. So basically it's that. And we are attention whores. And we like attention. So we are making it so egocentric. And that's why on today's podcast, we're going to talk about ourselves. Because why not? It's our podcast and we can do it. So if you enjoy it, I mean, I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a story time. Get out your popcorn and enjoy.
And then one day a tree spoke to me, and I knew right then and there that after the tree spoke to me, I was supposed to become the head admin at Evo. Let's go.
True story.
True story? No.
Who's going to go first? Maybe we start with Shorty since you've been the longest Trackmania player.
Wait, but I should go second. No, okay. Oh, good. I'm not going. I'm going first for once. It's time for change. I'm ready for it.
I just realized that I said longest Trackmania player, which makes no sense. Longest playing time Trackmania player, because longest would imply if you took that literally, it'd be like we just like stretch Shorty out and like he's just really long. Okay, anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
This is what the podcast is.
So where do I begin? How many years ago was that? Was that 14, 15 years ago? Maybe I don't
70 years
really
ago.
know exactly. No, it's definitely more than 12
Cavemen.
years. I just don't have like I never wrote down the year when I started, and I don't think it's really easy to find out afterwards. I'm just kind of guessing and adding years. So it's between 12 and 15 years, something like that. Definitely more than 12 though. I was at a friend at his place, and for some reason at their parents, even then they had 3 PCs already. And
Wow.
we played random games here and there, like what you do, right? And Trackmania was one of those games. And a couple of weeks after I last saw him, I randomly was like, "Man, that game that was nice. That was cool." So I asked him, and he gave me like the CD that you had for Trackmania Nations Forever, that uh, magazine CD where the game was on.
Oh, right.
So I installed the game and
Oh,
started
it wasn't a
playing.
magazine?
It was in a magazine, yeah.
So you had to buy the
Super weird.
magazine and then you get the game, something
Nah,
like that?
you could have also downloaded it already
Ah,
then, or
okay.
like you could have like Nations Forever was the free version, so that was kind of the advertisement strategy from Adeo back in the day. So you had like everyone that bought this PC magazine, they also got like a free copy of Trackmania and other games on the
Okay.
CD. So that was,
Well,
I
at
think that
least they
was
had
actually
a
pretty smart from
strategy
them,
back
to be
then.
honest. Yeah, so I mean, years go by. I at some point got my own laptop. Later than I was supposed to get it because I did some dumb shit. So instead of getting it for my birthday, I had to wait until Christmas. Oops.
No.
Uh, so yeah, a couple of years go by. It start playing Trackmania. Join certain teams. I mean, obviously the team I was in longest was THE back then. I don't know how many years I have been with them. I joined them for 2 years, left them for half a year because I actually joined them when I was like really young and I didn't have the skill. Like I was close, but I didn't really improve while I was there in those 2 years. So I left for half a year, just played Trackmania on and off a little bit. And after half a year, all of a sudden, like one of the THE members was on the server again, and we just played. And for some reason, I was better, so I rejoined. And then I started becoming like really good, actually. Like those were the 2 or 3 or 4 years or something. Then with THE, where basically you had ESL League back then still, and I think we started out in 5th League, and we climbed all the way up into the 1st division eventually. And I think I was at that time I definitely was one of the main reasons for that. I'm not going to say I did it alone. Obviously, it's a team effort, but I do think I deserve to call myself the like quote unquote best player for THE back at that time. So yeah, now it's getting difficult to remember. Like now is the time where more things happened because I have no fucking clue. Like obviously I at some point I drove to Gamers Assembly 2 years in a row, like 2015 and 2016, I think. One of those years I was with Euronics. Okay, let me try to remember the like how it went.
Make
So
memory.
I don't know the exact way it was. I only remember that there was this event Izuba Nest 2 times in a row in the 1st edition, and I never really had any like real or massive success in any solo events or anything like that. So it's never was like, oh yeah, I never really had any reason to join any of the real big shot teams. Like I once tried with BX3 back then, but after half of a year of like apprenticeship time, I don't know, like trial, like we called it trial time back then. They didn't take me for well, we don't have to get into those reasons, but they didn't take me because I was bad. Let's put it that way. And I also didn't have any personal disputes with any of them, but things sometimes are weird, so I didn't stay with BX3, joined back THE. Tried my luck in a different team, but I may or may not have directly left that team after 2 hours. So that was nice. Yeah, that was cool because that also was where Shorts also was there. So that was the first time that was the second time I was with Shorts in the same team. So I joined them, joined their TeamSpeak, had like a nice talk for 2 hours. Then I went offline again, had some problems with THE because of that, and basically I really like 24-hour race was always my favorite event, and because I left THE, they didn't want to play 24-hour race with me, so I had the option of I just go back to THE and was nice talking to you guys, but 24-hour race is more important, or I just be like, guess I'm not leaving nice with THE and no 24-hour race with them again. And well, I literally decided that 24-hour race was more important for me. Yeah.
That was
Basically,
a shorty time.
That was very weird, not gonna lie. I have no idea, but it happened. Let's just say it happened. Yeah, I did really well at the Nest Cup. Like you can still watch the VODs, and I think it's still something that I really highly like. It's one of the events I highly recommend to watch because the format was really cool. You had like the side by side, and like not only the way that like you had maps that were basically mirrored, so you could go either left or right, and you had to switch each round, which was difficult to remember during the match. And at the same time, because it was mirrored, you had the point of view of both players, like one player on the left and one on the right in the pod, like in the stream. So that was really fucking cool to watch as well. I got a really good result there, and afterwards I got asked by both Acer and by Euronics to join them, and then I joined Euronics. Then I've been with Euronics for a couple of years, went to Gamers Assembly then, at least one of the years, like at least 2000, or was it 17 maybe, I went there with the Euronics shirt and stuff like that. Yeah, eventually we decided that it's been the same for basically all of the orgs in Trackmania at that kind of time. You didn't really get a lot of support, right? So then we decided to try and maybe find an organization that wants to support us, because we never had any issues with Euronics Gaming or stuff like that, but they didn't really support us. Like, we were allowed to be part of their team still. We had our, like, the merch stuff, but it wasn't like, we drive to a tournament and they pay us for it, because why the fuck would they? Like, we don't gain them any money. Nobody watches Trackmania, and there's like one tournament a year, so they,
It was a dead game.
it
Who
was a
would
dead game and
invest
a
in
dying
that?
game at that point. It's similar to what Spam said, right? Like he also had similar problems there with Dignitas also giving up the Trackmania squad. Didn't work out for multiple reasons, and since then, I just continued with THE. I didn't really play anymore, really that much, to be fair. Just continued having fun with TDC and stuff like that. And built some maps here and there, right? Started having fun, especially when Trackmania 2020, especially around that time, I started having a lot of fun building maps, as you can see with the track of the days I've built, which are controversial. Maybe I don't know how to say that. It's let's just say either you hate my maps or you love them. Like, you're not gonna be like, it's decent. They are usually, you either hate them or you love them.
You did the map, the backward map.
I did multiple maps with backwards, which is why people believe I only do backwards. Yeah, I did one. So there was the very first. Which was the first one? I think the very first.
It was a blue one.
Yeah, there was one backwards map that I've built where you go forwards or you go backwards, and it was the same path, but you just started out differently and then joined up at the first checkpoint and drove the same map backwards or forwards, which was supposed to be similarly fast. But apparently you can backwards speed slide upside down. That kinda ruined my calculations a little bit, but anyway, it worked out decently anyway. So yeah, backwards was always supposed to be faster, because backwards is just full speed on crack. Like, do one SD a little bit better at the start and you're just 1 second faster. So yeah. Then I did one map where you switch between driving forwards and backwards through the map. There was one map where I had like different paths. So we had overall 6 different paths you could take, and they intersected with each other. So you had like the start, you could choose either grass or ice turn. Then you could choose either tech part or dirt part, and then at the end you could choose either a tech part or a full speed part. And
Wait, those
it
were
was,
track of the day?
which also was track of the day, and that was supposed. And I tried to make them as far, like basically all of the paths were supposed to be similarly fast or like exactly equally fast. And actually, I think that's the map I'm most proud of, because to this day, it's still unknown what's fastest. Like both at the start, top 3 times do different lines, and at the end you also have different lines. So like Mother goes for the ice. Like dirt is way faster than tech, so nobody goes for tech.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, at the end you have like sausage tech or full speed, and it's still not known which is faster, at least to my knowledge. I mean, it's a rather old map by now, so I don't think anyone is gonna actually revisit it. So yeah,
maybe by the track of the day speedrunners. I read today some chat that I know, maybe it was a spammy chat. Someone wanted to do a track of the day speed run or something. Maybe we will see your map again.
maybe I know that the community speedrun does have one of my maps. I don't remember which one. Oh yeah, I also did an underwater map, but we don't talk about that one.
Underwater map? Wait.
Yeah, there was an underwater. I mean, there are more than one underwater maps. There was a second underwater map as well with Reactor underwater a couple of months later. That was really fucking cool as well. But technically, I had the first full underwater map. But yeah, that map was interestingly received. Yeah. And then I had like one map where you had a trial, like a hidden trial road, which you needed for AT, which drove some players insane, some more than others.
A trial map for AT?
Yeah. I mean, basically,
Dude,
it's a very beginner-friendly map, and in the map itself, there's just you can just do some trial jumps and wall jumps and stuff like that to also jump from checkpoint to checkpoint, which was hidden, or at least supposed to be hidden, and kinda leaked it, but it was. I just didn't want people to know during the cup, because like I didn't try to like keep it hidden at all. I just didn't want people to know that there's a faster route during the knockout, because it was impossible to go for it. Like it took the first person like 2 hours to finish it for the first time.
I'm trying to remember which map was this. I mean, back in the day when I first started playing Trackmania, the only thing that I was playing was basically Cup of the Day, and I played that thing for like a year and a half. And the only map that I remember from you is the backwards map, because it was blue.
Oh, the last one, yeah, the last backwards map.
Yeah, but the other maps that you're mentioning is like, no, I don't know.
I mean, literally one of the map is called Back and Forth, but with an and sign and not the N, which is in TMGL now. So they kind of stole my name. Really mad.
Oh, really?
Sue them. Do it.
Sue them, yeah.
Yeah, actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, apart from apart from that, I really had a lot of fun with those maps. I mean, I stream, or I used to stream until I have certain issues right now. Actually, did I say that on stream at all?
No, you
on
haven't
podcast?
mentioned that.
I haven't. I have kind of just avoided the issue, so maybe now I can, and then you can take over for the next part. So I used to stream, and we also did I already was part of a different podcast that sadly stopped a couple of months ago. So I kind of did a little bit of this and that. I also tried to host an event at some point for a couple of weeks. So that kind of also didn't really work out, because that was a game mode that is very different from the normal Trackmania, and people sadly didn't seem to want to give it a try. Like the people that did try it out, like really love chase. Like that's what I mean. But
at the chase thing,
nobody really tried. Like there was at the very beginning, people were there, but it just died down. And I tried to like restart it, but it didn't work.
I remember Rizal playing that.
It was really fucking cool.
It was a cool mode.
So yeah, so why am I not streaming right now, and why am I not watching TMGL as much as I probably should or would want to, and why am I not playing Trackmania? So a couple, like, by now it's actually like 1 month ago. I visited my parents over the holidays, Christmas and New Eves. I always visit my parents, so that's normal. And we go watch a wonderful 3D movie called Avatar 2. And relatively early, I started to be like, oh, wait, why is everything turning? And at some point, after like 2 hours or so, I left because I literally physically could not continue watching it. And then waited for my parents and like for the rest of my family to come back. We drove. We have to commute like 45 minutes back to our home. And usually, even under normal circumstances, since a couple of years, I get a little bit like travel sick if I'm not driving myself. I mean, at the beginning it was a bit worse, but it's basically just I feel a little bit unwell usually, like nothing major. Like it doesn't really matter. I can also be co-driver for like 2 hours, 3 hours, no problem. And I have no issues with that. I just feel a little bit unwell, but nothing more than that. Yeah, on that day, because obviously I was already fucked up from the movie, I got fucked up even more, and I literally had to drag myself home. And since then, I basically get motion sick from basically everything, and nobody really knows why. And getting a doctor's appointment where my parents live is really fucking amazing, like not. So it's a little bit of a problem and a struggle, and I also I don't really know how that's gonna get fixed, to be fair. Like I tried to like read about it, how that even is possible, but it's not really supposed to happen. But it's
Yeah,
like
it's not.
I don't know. Like like I never had really bad issues with Trackmania or other games or watching series or stuff like that. But now literally I can't. I tried watching the first day of Deska and Stufts. And I was through like maybe the first match, but after that I was like, yeah, well, I can't continue. The fun problem is, which when I first went to the doctor and told him, he was also like, huh? How? If I get shit faced, like if I drink a couple of beers, then it works. Which is literally the first thing anyone would tell you if you're getting, travel sick. Don't drink alcohol. So
Yes.
I mean, obviously we are no doctors, so it's a little bit weird right now. I'm basically getting drunk every evening just so I can at least do something, because like, what am I supposed to do? Like anything I would want to do at my parents, I have to go by car, and by car is. I mean, it worked for like 1 week or so, but then all of a sudden, from one day to another, it all of a sudden was again like horrible while driving, and it's not really safe. So I'm not risking driving any long distances. So that would be stupid to risk that, right?
Yeah, it is.
But being co-driver is not really better. Taking medicine against it kind of helps, but also only kind of. So I also don't really want to risk driving long distances. So I'm a little bit stuck. And I'm hoping that, I mean, doctor's appointments, getting them here takes a lot of time, so I still have to wait a little bit, but we will see how that develops. Anyway, that's my predicament at the moment. It's a little bit. I mean, I'm
This is
laughing
what you
about it,
get
but that's
from
awful.
watching 3D movies.
Yeah, only because I watched a fucking 3D movie. I mean, I never had issues with 3D movies before either, so that was unexpected. Like, it's not like, oh, well, should have expected it. Like, no, why should I expect that? I never had problems with 3D movies ever. Sure, with glasses and like having the double glasses, it's awful.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of annoying. I do get dizzy when I watch 3D movies. And for example, CSGO is a game that I can play for a couple rounds, a couple games, and then I have to stop because I get motion sickness.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like I just don't get it back to normal. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that is the issue.
Right? Like usually you just stop doing it and then it's fine, but for me it's just I don't know. Not working.
It's still there. Oh my god, that's so fucking annoying. Well, you guys now know what's going on with Shorty in his life.
Yeah, sorry that I took a little bit more time than I maybe
No,
should.
it's okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
You're
So
gonna go
who wants to
in
who
import?
wants to go second?
Import.
Are you sure you want me to go next?
Oh, sure, I go. I mean, I don't know how long your story is because you don't know how long
Import
my
is gonna
story
take
is.
as much time as he
I
possibly
probably will
can.
take. I may not take as much time as Shorty, but I will come close to what Shorty. But my history is more related towards like esports as a whole rather than Trackmania. So
Same, but that led me to Trackmania. And
Yep.
so
yeah, how about you go first, and then I'll wrap us up.
okay, I'll go first. So I've been playing games since I'm like 4 years old. I got my first Nintendo, the box. I don't know the name. I got a 4, and then I started playing video games all the time because it was like, why not? And the year 2016, I was like, GameCube? No, it wasn't GameCube. Nintendo. I don't remember the name. Yeah, the Super Nintendo. El Mao. It was a Super Nintendo XC. Thank you, Chad. Yeah, I was been playing video games, and then in 2016, I was already playing League of Legends, and I really got into playing League of Legends for some reason. That year I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take any opportunity that life gives me now. With photography, because I'm a photographer. I'm a professional photographer. So I got a sudden message from my friend that another friend of him was looking for a photographer to go to the Riot offices in Chile, in Santiago. And they needed a photographer to start taking pictures of the players and making interviews and stuff. And I was like, actually, I have nothing to lose, so I'm just gonna send him a message saying, hey, I'm available, this is my equipment. If it works for you, nice, I can go, let me know. He contacted me back, and then he said, yeah, you can come here. And I was really happy because in my family, I'm the worst gamer. I have 3 brothers, and they are all amazing players, and I'm the shit in my family. So
No.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to the game offices of the game that you love, and I'm not even a pro player. Like in that regard, I felt so good because I was like, yeah, I'm going there, and you don't. Kind of
Payback time.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, I'm a shit, but I'm going there. I'm gonna meet all the players and people and stuff. So I went there, and this person that needed the photographer also had a website that it's called Nerdmasia. And basically there I started my whole esport career, kind of taking pictures, doing interviews, going to events and meeting people, and basically everything through League of Legends. And through that game, I got to meet a friend, one of my best friends actually. That is it was a Trackmania player because he doesn't play anymore. And you know when people come to you, and I mean, I don't know if this happens to you, but they're like, I want to show you a new game, or do you want to watch me play in a game? And I say, yeah, sure. And he showed me TMNF. And I was basically watching whatever thing, meanwhile I have him on a second screen playing. And I look at the game and I literally say, that game is so ugly. This was in 2018, 2019.
True.
Yeah,
It is fucking ugly.
It
kinda.
is so ugly, you know. And I
Comparatively,
love
of course.
racing games. That is the thing. I've been playing racing games since I have memory. And I saw the game and I was like, you know, that game is so fucking ugly. And he was like, oh, you can download it, you can play it. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna play that thing. And one day he was like, oh my god, I'm so excited because a new campaign comes out. And I was like, campaign of what? And he was like, Trackmania 2020. And I was like, what game? I don't know. And he showed me the new campaign of Trackmania 2020. It was Autumn campaign. And I fell in love with the game. I was like, oh my god, this game is so pretty. And it's a racing game. And it has pink trees. And everything seemed so good and so beautiful in the game. So I was like, oh, maybe I can start playing this, you know? And the funny thing is that he was asking me on how to improve on a map. And I was like, how am I gonna tell you how to improve on a map when I don't even play this game? Like, I have no idea. And he didn't have the club access, so he couldn't see the ghost. So he didn't find any other good thing that sent me a video of Erisel playing that map, and he was like, okay, you have to watch this video for like 20 times and let me know exactly where he lands on this moment. And I was like, okay. And I was helping him watching the video, and I was like, no, you have to land like a tiny bit, like 1 pixel to the left or 1 pixel to the right. I literally had no idea about the game. And then I was like, you know what? This game cannot be that hard. Like, it's a racing game, you play with pad. No, it cannot be that hard. I downloaded the game. And I couldn't drive the first time.
Oh no.
I was like, why is my car going so fast to the left? And why is my car going so fast to the right? I wasn't playing with pad. I tried and I couldn't. Because it felt awkward. So I play with keyboard. And he never told me that on keyboard, if you press one key, it immediately go to the left or it's gonna go to the right. I didn't know. And I started playing.
The car steals way more than you expect. It pretty does.
Yeah, it does. So I was like, I was so embarrassed because I was like, this cannot be that hard, you know? And well, it was. I'm not good at the game, but I love it. I love watching it more than playing it. Back in the day, I remember I was also streaming League. I started my streaming career kind of on that same time that Trackmania started. So I was like, this is the perfect game to stream because I can stop at any given moment. Like, it doesn't matter. No one's gonna get mad at me because it's a single player game. I can read the chat. I can go out for a drink. I can do whatever I want. And it's super relaxing. People loved it. The community seems super friendly. I start watching streams. I start watching Irisel, Spammy, which it's kind of a thing because talking to him after watching him playing and being on his chat as a chatter is kind of a thing, and like, I don't know, like a goal, like you could say, talking to one of your favorite streamers, you know. um and so with many people on the Trackmania community, everyone is so reachable. That is the thing that I love the most about the Trackmania community. Yeah, I've been streaming. Trackmania also opened the door for me to work as a YouTube manager for a couple of YouTubers that are not on the Trackmania community and League community, but it's been giving me opportunities that I never thought it would give. And basically, my whole life and my whole career, even though I studied something and I have my major in something, everything has been around esports and games. And it's kind of crazy to think that a hobby, it's right now giving me the life that I'm having, the opportunities that I got, and possibly I could get, like traveling, meeting other people that are amazing, having a life out of it, basically.
Yep.
And it always started as a hobby, and in the end, it has been basically my life, and
Trackmania
it feels
doesn't let you
amazing.
go. It just
Yeah.
it really is. Like every single time someone says, "Yep, I'm done with this game," they usually always come back within 2 weeks. Either that or they find to God. For some reason that works. That's the only thing that works. Like Sneak, all of a sudden, like I don't know if you like sorry, but Medicine, for example, like suddenly found to God, and I mean not the first time that happens. But otherwise, usually you can never stop with Trackmania. You always come back after 2 weeks or however long it takes. Mother as well. So many
Yeah,
players.
there's so many people that they are like, I'm taking a right now I am one of those, I'm taking a break, but because of life reasons and stuff, I'm not even on my PC. Like right now I'm here on the podcast because I love doing the podcast. But other than that, it's like, no, I don't want to play, I don't want to stream, I don't want to do anything because it came to the point of burnout of content creating because also my life has been always around content creating, not only for myself but mostly for others. And sometimes the creativity is just gone and I just don't want to think about anything and I don't want to see anything. And it happened with Trackmania that it was my main streaming stuff reason, and I don't want to burn out this game, not so fast. So I'm taking a break. I will come back. I don't know when, but for now it's a break. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. The good thing is that I love watching this game, so having the competitions on the weekend has been a blessing. But yeah, no more playing Trackmania for a bit. You better come back for Trackmania first. Ah, yeah. Well, yes. Talking about esports and the life opportunities that I have always got. Uh, right now I have the opportunity to stay in. I moved from Chile because if I didn't mention, I'm from Chile, and I moved to Germany. And last time for Tragedia, I couldn't go because my visa expired like 2 weeks before Tragedia or 1 week before Tragedia, and I couldn't go.
That's so unlucky timing.
I
Really.
was super unlucky. But right now, I can stay out for a longer time than last time because I got my visa things. So you might hopefully see me at Trackmania. Doing what? I have no fucking idea. But I'll be there enjoying taking pictures mostly. That's what I do. That's what I love. So yeah, that's my story. I mean, I have other things in between, but it would be too long and I don't want to make it so long. But it's basically that.
It's good.
It
It's
started
good
with Nick.
story.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And you better come to Trackmania. It's not a Trackmania. Or we gotta stop using that name.
Yeah, but we can't stop you. We can only stop using that name once we get the new
we
one.
have a
Once we
new
get the new
name.
one. No, not yet. We just have the
Can
name of the
we-
venue. Have the name of the venue. Experion.
with the name of the venue?
Yeah. It's Experion. Experion and Cologne. Just check it out. It's owned by Saturn. Is it my turn now?
Yeah, it's your turn now.
Go ahead.
Gather around the fire, children. We got a story to tell. So I've been a gamer all my life. I've been a gamer since a little kid. It's a typical gamer story. Little nerd, starting at the age of 5, or 4, depending on. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. I'm 30 now. Really,
Super old.
my first dip into esports, or let me explain how I got into esports. And I was already playing video games pretty heavily, was always kind of like a very competitive just in general, especially when I was unleashed into the online world and online gaming world. My competitive nature always got the best of me. So yeah, little try hard. I started off in like kind of shooter style games and everything, FPS games, games you probably have never heard of before. My first like FPS game was like Combat Arms. Not Modern Warfare. I was not one of those people. I didn't actually play video games on a console. The only console I ever owned as a young person was Nintendo consoles and nothing more. I never had an Xbox, never had a PS4, PlayStation, or anything like that.
Good old sports with the family, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but no, I only ever had Nintendo consoles like Game Boy, GameCube, N64, the Wii, Wii U, Switch obviously now.
I always wanted a Wii U.
Yeah, I had the Wii. I bought the Wii U because, and I'll get that'll get into the story. So, esports. I started that as I got into college. I was in university. Pretty. How do I start this? This is the thing. Growing up, I was homeschooled. Let's put it that way. So growing up, I was homeschooled. I had friends. I had a lot of friends. My family is very religious, very conservative religious. So I had friends related into that community and everything, growing up in that way. So I had those friends. And in fact, one of my longtime friends since I've known since I was 5 years old is actually coming out to Germany to visit me next month for 3 weeks. So
Nice.
yeah,
cute.
so I still have like friendships and everything from those times and everything, but especially like during my later teenage years into like when I was getting into college, I was very much alone. A majority of my friends were online, if that. I really didn't even have like a solid friend group. I just had my friends who I grew up with, but they all lived in different states. I lived in a different state because I was a military kid and I moved everywhere. So I was never around my friends. I never had a solid friend group.
I can understand that.
So yeah, going into university, going into a dorm, a freshman dorm, having a roommate, dealing with like you have not experienced university life until you've experienced university life in the American university system. It's just very difficult to explain to somebody who's not accustomed or understanding of American. Like even movies don't really explain like the dynamics of like. That's a very grandiose explanation of American university life. But let's just take. Well, I wouldn't even call myself a shut-in, but just to make the example easier, shut-in kid going to university, being forced into very social situations. And with the way I act now, you would never think that, but very, very awkward, shy kid, going into university. And honestly, it was I was very innocent, very like the world is sunshine and rainbows. Like surely people aren't mean or anything like that. And college was a rude awakening. I had a very abusive roommate. Actually cornered me in a corner and everything. And like the thing that kept me sane was like I had some other friends in university. Like I had a next door neighbor in the dorm. He played video games. He played League of Legends. I played League of Legends. I've been playing for like 2 years already. And we had like we had that bonding connection over League of Legends. Going into my second semester, that friend leaves the university. He doesn't come back, and we were supposed to live in the same apartment together on the campus. And he doesn't tell me until literally the day I move in, and I'm calling him like, "Hey, so when are you coming in today?" He's like, "By the way, I'm not coming to university."
Oh, mom, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Ay.
My luck with friends was terrible, bro. I did not have the best choices in friends. And I'm even glossing over how sad it was because it was legit sad. That same friend had a girlfriend. She actually would hit me all the time. She
amazing. It's only
like,
getting better.
Yeah, it gets better. So, well, actually, I think that's about it. Like my freshman like year of university was probably the roughest year. So going into the second year, I'm like, you know what? I'm so tired of trying to fit into the mold of these people and like trying to befriend these people that I don't really like feel comfortable around anyways from the get-go, because I'm a gamer first and foremost. I want to do something that interests me and have friends that interest me. So I decided, you know what? Instead of just sitting here and moping around like a loser, let me go start a club, because I know that any student can start a club at any time in the university when they want to. So I went ahead and started a League of Legends or esports club at my university. All I needed was 50 signatures it didn't matter who from. They didn't have to be members of the club. I just needed 50 signatures. So I went into my classroom. Our classrooms were like 50 to 100 people. And I said, hey, I'm starting a esports club, like for gamers and everything, for those who like to play video games. Would you guys, even if you don't play video games, can you guys just sign this so I can start the club? Boom, got those 50 signatures easy. I had somebody also helping me co-found the club, that I just kind of met through a mutual friend at the campus. And we started the club. It was started by me. He kind of helped. And then he left later on pretty quickly afterwards. First club meeting, 40 people, which is insane. Like, I did my best. I went around to people. I was like, hey, do you play video games or something like that? Like, hey, tried to go around every single place. We had like Facebook pages for our university. It was like, hey, gamers, like if you're here, there's an esports club being made, that kind of stuff. So first year of the club goes great. We grow to like, it kind of averaged about 20 to 30 people participating, but overall, like 20, 30 people participating on average, but overall there was like over 100 people that like would come in every once in a while. And then I decided, you know what, since this is a big enough following, and League of Legends at that time was propping up university clubs, like League of Legends university clubs, and giving them resources and everything to help prop them up and give them a platform and be able to grow their clubs and become esports collegiate teams and everything. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Why not? If I can make a club, if I can make a community, why not do that in a bigger form? So I approached the club sports, which is like the junior varsity to like an actual athletic program in the university. Approached club sports and said, hey, yo, I would like to start an esports program within the university here. I noticed that you guys, and at that time they were, trying to get in more STEM students. For those who don't know what STEM is, that's mathematics, engineering, technology, IT stuff.
The nerds.
So the nerds. And that university at the time was really trying to get the nerds in. So I was like, we're like king of the nerds here as gamers, and like that would be a big way to get STEM students potentially interested in coming to this university in your program. And they were like, bet, let's do it. So they picked me up. Nothing really funding or anything. There was a club membership, I think it was like $300, which sounds crazy to a gamer, but like this is kind of normal for American sports clubs if you want to join. So yeah, $300, but with that you got like peripherals. We had like gunner glasses, if anybody remembers when gunners were like a super like big fat and everything. So we had gunner glasses, uniform, like a jersey, and then like we got some other odds and ends and stuff. And yeah, so I made the club. We were in a league for League of Legends collegiate scene. It was for ULOL is what it was called.
Yeah.
Yep. University League of Legends. So ULOL. And
I
like,
don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. This is very American stuff. We'll get to the European portion here. But yeah, so University League of Legends did that. And obviously, the skill level of players at my university, we only had like 2 or 3 diamond players in the entire campus of like 25,000 students.
No way.
Yeah. So like we were pretty like dead in terms of
level,
skill. Yeah. Average skill level was honestly like silver and gold players. And I was one of them at the time. Like I was like a hard stuck like silver 4 player at the time. So yeah, I was really in the mud. And so yeah, that kind of happened. And over time I was like, you know what? Like this is cool and everything, but if I want to be able to get people to come to this club, and because at my time I was like, our skill level sucks in League of Legends. I want to see if I can get more people outside of the university to maybe start coming to this university. I'm like already thinking like a recruiter for the recruiters. This is it was very like businessy orientated. So we did a year, and like the club sports people, they weren't really giving me the support I needed. So I was kind of looking around, and there was this startup company called Duel. And Duel was just this tournament software platform startup that was like basically you could host your own brackets, kind of like Challenge and all these other bracket platforms and everything. But on this one, you could also participate in mini tournaments. You enter with $1 entry against and do a 1v1 against somebody, and then whoever wins gets that money. So it's almost kind of like gambling in a way, where like you both put $1 in, and then whoever wins gets like $2 or whatever, or something stupid like that. But yeah, so I like approached them, and I forget how we even met each other, to be honest. But we ended up collaborating with each other. They're like, yeah, we could like host you guys, like sponsor you guys, and like try to help you guys get your word out and everything, and provide you some materials. They got us like how many t-shirts? They ended up ordering us 150 like logo t-shirts. Like I commissioned to get a logo done for my university club, which I still have to this day. And we had shirts printed with the logo and the thing on the side. They gave us 150 shirts for free. Of like it was basically like a team jersey at that point, but yeah, it was just like t-shirts with our logo and everything. 150 of those for free. Ton of lanyards. Like League of Legends also like Riot also gave us a ton of lanyards, plushies, hats, everything, all for free. And so I started working with Duel. They even let me become an intern, and they were going to see if we couldn't get an esports facility built on our campus. They were going to help me with that, because I was like, this would be like the next step, because at the time, a lot of the universities for League of Legends University, like programs and everything, they were starting to get picked up by their universities, officially like taken as an athletic program, and these universities were investing like tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of making esports facilities for their universities. And I was like, I can do this, bet. And so I tried. And first I did it with Duel, and the plan kind of backfired, because what happened was we get this meeting with like a bunch of these people from a bunch of different faculties within the university, and the club sports admin that I had been working with for the previous year. And I hadn't talked to him. I kind of ghosted him, because like he just like didn't really care, and he just wanted like the club sports membership money. And I'm like, you guys aren't giving, like, there's not a good enough trade to convince students to pay $300 to get like some gamer glasses that they don't even want, and like a mouse and like a mouse pad. Like, come on. So we get in this meeting, everything happens, and this club sports admin, I call him a bulldog, because that's how he would act. He straight up would like be like, no, this isn't happening. And so we're having this meeting, and like everything's seeming look good. These departments are like, yeah, we might be interested. Maybe we can figure something out. And he's like, you know what? This is my club program. You're a club sport of mine. Why are we even having this meeting? You're going around to other departments and like trying to get support, when you should have came to me first. And I was like, but you never helped out. Speedy, if you're here, it kind of sound familiar. But it was enough to kick him into overdrive, because then he was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this. So for whatever reason, he decided, it switched his brain on, because he realized that basically I had to get other departments interested and make him realize how much like could be invested into this, because other departments, how much it's worth.
Yeah.
So immediately after that year, this time with Duel, our relationship kind of falls away somewhat a little bit, because I'm busy with like doing this. They give us an entire room in one of the existing buildings. They buy brand new 20 brand new PCs, headsets, mice, keyboards, all from Logitech. So we're talking immediately out of the gate, 25 grand. Yeah. That's not including the building that they gave us. Existing structure, so for them, cost is minimal. But if we're talking about renting the structure for a year, this is where I get my $80,000 figure from, is the structure itself. It was a big room. They gave us a bunch of chairs. They gave us desks and everything. Those chairs and desks, they were office level, like top quality. So we're talking adding another 20 grand on top of that. So we're at 45 grand right now. the building itself, to run that, like if you were to set that up, run that for a year and everything, that's another 20 grand. So we're talking around 60 to 80 grand of an immediate investment within several months of this transpiring. And the the amount of intense interest we got immediately afterwards. I had a official meeting for the sport club. I think 150 people attended the first meeting, and then it trickled off. It died. But on top of that, it wasn't just League of Legends. We added an Overwatch team. We added a CS:GO team. I was involved in all three teams. Don't ask. I just wanted to do everything at that point. And then we had a Smash Bros Weekly that we had. So we hosted a Smash Bros Weekly, and a ton of people, even from off campus, came. So that Smash Bros Weekly probably had more people on average than everything else, because that would have 50 people show up for the Smash Bros Weekly. And for a campus 25,000 people, it sounds a lot. For a campus that size, it's actually kind of small. It was a private Christian university, but still those numbers were kind of popping for what it was and for the investment that we got. I had meetings every week. I had a whole council thing going on. I had this whole community built up. And I never tell this story because I tell it to some people, but I don't mind sharing it because I think it's a lesson learned. In the intensity of trying to focus on building this and making a potential career, because I saw the opportunities and I saw the possibilities of how things could come about it, I lacked on my studies. I slacked on my studies super hard, to the point where I had to go on academic suspension, which basically meant I got kicked out of university for a year. That is where, yeah. So that is where import is the idiot in the story. So during this time, and when I say I fell flat hard on my face, I fell flat hard on my face. The university, especially the admin, I call him a bulldog, and I call him a bulldog for a reason. I sit in this meeting with them and I tell him, hey, unfortunately, my grades have slipped pretty badly. So I am going to be put on academic suspension. I won't, if I come back, it won't be for a full year. But I brought two people with me. I was like, they've been running the club with me. They've been my assistants and everything. They can run the club, honestly, without me. And I can provide consulting and everything, in between, which I totally skipped over another cool story, and I'll get to that in a second, but we'll get through the heavy part first. The club admin looked at me and basically said, "You're a failure. You suck." He literally called me a failure. "You suck." Honestly, there's nothing I have to say to you. You're I don't want to see you ever again. He never saw me again.
What an asshole, man.
Yeah. That was a paid employee at the university, basically giving me the biggest slap in the face ever.
Yeah.
I think he was looking for an excuse to get rid of me, because I honestly at that time was very pushy. I was pushy. I was definitely I want this. I can get demanding when I'm in that mode. And I was I want to get this done and this done. And I would push things. If I felt like they weren't giving an appropriate response, I would take action, which they didn't like. But at the same time, I was a student. It's I could basically do whatever the heck I wanted to. But yeah, after that, it was terrible. But I mean, in the meantime, I got to do so many cool things. I got to go to watch live LCS games. We did club trips. We went to Knott's Berry Farm as team, Knott's Berry Farm is a theme park in LA. So we combined going to Knott's Berry Farm and go watch an LCS game the next day. We did cool club trips. I actually got to work with the Arizona Diamondbacks as a consultant. Arizona Diamondbacks is a professional baseball team. Mm-hmm. They approached me directly, slid in my actual DMs, and asked me if I could consult them on running a League of Legends tournament or a esports tournament during one of their games. I did that. That was super cool. Yeah, so I got to have an amazing time. It's just like fell flat on my face. And I think that an important lesson of this, and this is why I wanted to tell this story for this first part, and then the rest part, it will be a lot quicker, I promise. This first part is that like, make sure you got all your ducks in a row. Don't do what I did. Like, it is okay to not, in some things, yeah, you need to put 100% effort in. But not everything necessarily requires 100% effort, because sometimes you go overboard and you lose focus of what matters. And at that point, it was my education and I completely screwed it. Doesn't mean I'm stupid. No, I'm still doing lands. I can still sell a turd. So don't even, I'm able to help build a community. Huh?
Do you regret it not putting so much effort into your education?
Oh yeah. I kid you not. The amount of how many years it took to get over the guilt and the overall, just the embarrassment of it. It took me years. I would wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares about being just ridiculed, mocked, laughed at, and it happened for years. Like I was in a hot mess mentally for at least a solid like couple years. I mean, even after university, I got into a sales job. Go figure. And did really well in that. Ended up getting laid off. Fell into another slump. I was in and out of jobs constantly because of just dealing with that. And then finally, when my brain like kind of stops like trying to attack itself, I get popped the question from my parents, hey, your dad's getting stationed in Germany. Do you want to move with us? And I'm like, well, I'm single. I have really nothing keeping me here. I had two friends. I will say out of that university, I did keep two really good friends and I still keep in contact with them to this day. And they were super supportive through me through the rough times. They knew that I was going through the ringer. They were super supportive of me. Yeah, like outside of that, it was like nothing's really tying me down here in Arizona. Like honestly, it was it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to live in a foreign country. So
yes,
and I get to live with my parents. I was already living with my parents anyways. Not necessarily due to the fact of like job situation, but it was because I could have moved out at any time. There was an affordable housing that I could have easily moved into.
It's a problem everywhere.
Yeah, but like there was housing I could have afforded, but I just like my mom was alone. She was a pastor at the church that she was pastoring, and my dad was stationed elsewhere at the time. He was in a different state, so I felt bad. I didn't want to leave her alone because she was already stressed, and she didn't want to be left alone. So me and my sister, we stayed with her, and then it stayed that way till we all moved to Germany together. Then we moved to Germany and everything kind of reset. New person, no friends, no nothing. So kind of meet a couple German friends and everything. Along the line, I kind of reconnect with Trackmania. Now we'll go to the Trackmania story. I started Trackmania in 2014. Now we'll get to the Trackmania portion. I started Trackmania in 2014, played Trackmania Stadium 2 a little off and on, and just played mainly full speed. I thought I was good. I wasn't. I just like was a total super giga casual, whatever. And then stopped playing Trackmania because it was like, it's boring. Not that many people play, and I'm playing a game that nobody really cares about. Compared to League of Legends. That's what I was comparing it to at the time.
Good comparison.
Yep. I mean, hey.
Hard for Trackmania to have a chance, but okay.
So then Trackmania 2020 comes around. I'm like, oh, new Trackmania game. That's so cool. So I start playing it for the first like all the way till like November, like really avidly almost every day, playing Cup of the Day every day or Track of the Day every day. And was like getting really good times, at least in my opinion, like top 100, like for at the time. I was like, I think I'm doing pretty good. And then came into contact with Evo and Phenom through their servers. I was like, oh, like Evo, let me see what they're about and everything. I hop on the Evo server and finally meet Phenom. And we just have a nice little conversation. I'm American. I live on a military base, blah, blah, blah. He found that interesting because of family history that he has with American bases. So we just kind of hit it off there. And eventually I become a moderator in Evo, just a Discord moderator, nothing special. And then I stopped playing Trackmania again for like, I want to say about a 5 to 6 month stint. Because of League of Legends, of course. Why not? I started playing League of Legends. And then after that stint of League of Legends for 5 months, I just hardcore quit League of Legends. I play League of Legends maybe once every like 6 months. That's how like little I play League, because I just it's not worth the mental effort. I played quite a bit recently with a bunch of the Ute guys, but yeah, anyways.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it anymore. I'm already over it again. I'm just like, yeah, honestly, I remember why I hate it, and it's just like there's when it's unavoidable issues that just make you irate mentally. Somehow I was able to keep my calm the last time I played, but there were multiple instances where I was like, this is insanity. Why am I playing this game? And I just stopped playing. So
I got banned for being toxic. Imagine, I wasn't even a toxic person.
Oh, I was a toxic person.
Hey, you got banned for being toxic?
Yeah, I got banned for being toxic.
I got banned for being toxic. I got an account permabanned. I got at least several other. I only got one account permabanned, but like, yeah. I just tell people.
No,
I tell people they were idiots and they're morons, and that was enough for Riot, apparently.
The only thing that I managed to do in Trackmania was that I got muted the server for half a year because I was writing press Alt F4 for boost because I didn't want to wait.
That's amazing.
That was a thing back then, right?
Oops. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I come back to Trackmania kind of slowly, but it was really when I was privy to some admin conversations where the admins were talking, the current admins at the time, it was just Snixbreaker, Phenom, and I think Chris recently had become a admin, and they were talking about starting a casual team, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And Chris starts it with the help of Snix and everything. It was kind of their like child, but Chris really led it. And I just started the casual team as a normal casual member. That was mid 2020. No. That was mid 2021. Then I kind of just rose up the ranks because I was just slowly realizing, Evo has like the casual team when it started was like really cool. It was just like a very small group of people and everybody was super nice and cordial to one another. And then now everybody hates each other and they're a bunch of freaking more. No, I'm kidding. But
oh my god.
The casual team really kicked off, and I was like, hey, if you need help, like I gave them my esports blurb that I just gave you guys now, my whole story. Like, this is my history in esports. This is what I've been doing. Like, I consider myself good at building communities. I did it as a kid. I didn't even go into that story, but I did it as a kid too. I built like small like forum boards and like small communities and everything. It's just something I always did when I was growing up.
You're a natural leader.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a leader. I'm an idiot, is what I am. But
we all are.
But yeah, I just like building communities. I think having a place to call home and people to feel comfortable and have fun at. Fun per hour has always been my motto, and I keep that in Evo, and it's going to become the motto of Evo. But yeah, like after that, eventually I become a team leader for the casual team, one of the team leaders, and then immediately shortly afterwards I become an admin. And from there it just kind of starts me as an admin. Nobody really knows me, but hey, that's okay. Me and Chris, we start working on a lot of like just like stream events and everything. My first cast was a accident. We made Evo Full Speed Survival. That was our first like Evo major competition that we had with prize money and everything. I helped get that sponsored, by the way, for 750 euros. Thank you very much. And the 7th week or so, there was nobody able to stream the event. So I start talking I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just cast this, like jokingly, and then the meme became a reality. And eventually I start casting it. Then me and Chris cast the final of EFS with CD. That was pretty crazy. That was like my first real cast. And then yeah, so EFS happens and we're like, great. And then shortly after EFS, I get approached from a guy named Tim, the Vemzer guy, talking about wanting to start a LAN in Hamburg and for Trackmania. And when that happened, I slid my foot in the door and I was like, yo, you're not doing this event without Evo. And that is how I popped the frick out of nowhere for the rest of these people who did not know me before Trackmania. That is how it happened. And the rest is history.
I didn't know that it happened that way.
Yeah. So that is my story. It took a while. I told you it was going to be about as long as Shorty's story.
Yeah, that's totally fine though. And I think both Lime and me, I think we can be very happy about the order because honestly, your story is by far the most impressive one. Like huge respect for what you did there. Like
actually, yes.
It's
really
been a
like,
journey.
and
I still don't get paid.
Imagine myself doing that. Yeah, unlucky. Maybe next time.
You know, everything that I mean, working with the YouTubers that I work with, yeah, they paid me not so well.
Yeah.
One actually, I work with Cloud9.
Yeah.
I work with Bunny Fufu.
Oh, okay.
What a fucking asshole!
I bet he seemed like a dick.
He is a dick, you know. And he was all like in the first meeting, he was like all like super nice and blah 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 blah, and then he became like a fucking asshole, and I was like, you know what, I'm out. And I called it a day, and I was like, you know, I'm out.
I don't blame you.
He's a fucking idiot. And the other guy, no, he was really nice, and everything was good. That was the few times that I actually got paid for doing my job. But all the other times since I started with Nerdmasia, that it was the website, the news, we will cover everything that you could imagine in the gaming scene. Game releases, game tournaments, game reviews, technology review, events, whatever you want, it was there.
Yeah.
I went to so many events. Most of them I had to pay it by myself because we were non-profit and no one was paying us to do that. We were there just because we loved it. And we got a few brand dealership, but the only thing that they gave us was a few phones that I couldn't even use for the anything. And I never got paid. Everything that I'm done, it's by just for love. And if I'm right now here in Germany, it's also for love. By
oh well, not in that regard. No, wait.
I mean, you learn from those mistakes, but it's sad that it happens to so many people. That they're doing work for basically free.
Yeah, basically.
Like you hear that in multiple parts
of
the gaming community.
At this point, I've been okay with not getting paid. I tell my parents, because like I've always been asked by my parents, and even to this day they kind of jokingly, this time they understand it more than anything else. I'm like, you know, honestly, I know for a fact that I may likely never get paid for anything I do, especially in Trackmania.
Especially in Trackmania. Getting bigger, you never know.
I mean, you never know, but even then, like at the same time, I tell, and this is what I tell everybody, I'm like, look, it is a hobby. I enjoy what I do. And as long as that is the case, then I will continue to do it. And as long as it doesn't cause a detriment to my real life, and luckily my real life is very simplistic. I just work a couple days a week because it's a part-time job, and I get to spend a lot of time with my family. And if I'm not spending time with my family, I'm spending time with Evo. So hey, I have
your other family.
Yeah, my other family. So I have a very
family.
I have a very good life right now, and I wouldn't change it for anything right now. So, yeah, and so the payment thing is never a big has never been a big deal. And anytime I've ever gained money, I've always given it back. So like the investments that were always for the club, that was always for the club. I don't think I kept anything except for a couple League of Legends lanyards. Bruh, I'm gonna keep a couple League of Legends lanyards because they gave them to us.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
You started with the game and now
Actually,
you're here.
I take this back. I technically did get paid on when I was working with Duel. They made me an intern. They made me a college intern, and they actually sponsored me, quote unquote, for multiple things. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, they sent me to Salt Lake City on a plane to go to a gaming convention and just like have a booth with them there and run the event there. Did that. And the people that I was going to for these gaming conventions were also people who also were University League of Legends organizers that I met through like their whole connection thing. So I kind of made like friends with them. So there was a guy in Utah, Salt Lake City, did a gaming convention with him. And then there was a whole group of organizers in the like Midwest area, so like Ohio, Cincinnati, Indianapolis area. There's this big nerd gaming convention, board game convention for like D&D and stuff called Gen Con. That's in Indianapolis, and I got sent there twice, which was really cool. I went there like actually, no, wait. I went there. I went to Indianapolis twice. I went one to Indy PopCon and then the second one for Gen Con, both representing Duel. That was really cool. And then this is my actual esports professional history. I kid you not. Duel sponsored me and my friends from my university to go to the first ever and participate in the first ever official Overwatch tournament. So there was the Overwatch tournament, one of their very first official like $25,000 prize pool tournaments. It was in Santa Ana, California at the Esports arena there. And I participated in that. Got eliminated first round. But anyways, I was there and I got sponsored, free hotel, and we had a blast. That's all I'm going to say.
Overwatch is a freaking dead, the game, isn't
It
it?
just sounds amazing.
Yeah. I cannot, I will never complain about how many cool experiences I've had in my life. And like at this point, they overshadow like all the sad part about losing that esports program and everything. Like everything that I've done up to this point, especially now the stuff that I've done in Evo, like holy crap, the cool things that we've done in Evo that maybe not everybody has always necessarily seen, but like so many cool things that we've done. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm enjoying life. So, and I get to do a podcast with two cool people too, with their own stories, which makes it even 10 times better. So
actually, that is one thing. You put them on a balance, you know.
Yeah.
The fun times, the experience, and turning your time with people and with things that you love, you know, versus getting paid. That was one of the things because my parents were also all the time asking me, "Are you gonna get paid in Marcia?" And I was like, "No, we are non-profit. No one's paying us." When I started streaming and buying my PC and everything, my mom would come to my room and she was like, "Oh, how was your stream? Ah, it was good. And how much do you earn today?" I was like, "Mom, this is not getting paid here."
Fun fact, my dad.
Yeah, we can start wrapping it up. I mean, we're almost at 2 hours now, but we're having
Actually,
fun,
yes.
Chris. Shut up. Anyways.
Let's go for another hour. Because
Let's go
can
for
they
another
possibly do?
hour. I don't have to wake up at 6 in the morning. No.
Me
Oh,
neither.
But yeah, so it's now time for Q&A with the chat. Spotify, I'm sorry,
if
obviously.
anyone has a question.
But if anybody has a question about anything we talked about, even our lives, if you want to ask us deep questions or personal questions, at least for me, I'm okay with it. I already gave you my life story, so
I'm also okay with everything.
Yeah, I'm also open with personal questions.
but yeah. It's been a good podcast so far. So
Does Spotify have a time limit?
the
Spotify
No.
No, it doesn't. We can technically talk as long as we want. That's Chris telling us he wants to go to bed. or do something else.
Is the longest song on earth uploaded on Spotify? Wasn't it like something like 88 hours or something like that?
Probably. What's the meaning
was
of
it probably
life,
more?
Speedy? It's
It's a 42.
it's
42.
Yeah.
That was from
Yeah.
a game, isn't it? Or a movie? I don't know.
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Wasn't it?
Wasn't
It was
it a
some type of
movie?
meme.
Nah,
Wasn't
it
that
wasn't
like a
movie.
kids meme or something like that?
No, it was from a movie or series.
It was from a movie.
Like Star
And-
Trek or something like that. I'm not sure.
Why
Something
does
like that, I
Import
think.
like to talk so much? Ice, you're a troller, and you know it. Really mad.
Today, actually, I would have talked more, but we changed schedules again. Now I'm on the degenerate schedule once again, so I'm
The
going to bed
degenerate
at like
schedule.
5, 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
I'm tired.
One of
I
us
want
is
to go
dying, the
back.
other one is getting motion sick. We are great. Great
Are either of
statistics.
you are either of you participating in the 2v2 internal event that we're having on this Saturday?
No, because I'm
Shorty?
taking a
Oh no, wait.
I mean,
you can't even
figures,
play.
right? I can't.
Shorty's literally disabled right now.
Basically.
So that's not happening. Well, I guess there's not really what about the name Export Land? Nah. Export Land.
Can we have it like Experience Cologne, a Trackmania experience?
Well, the working title right now is Trackmania Experion powered by Intel.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can't always make word plays. It just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Someone from the
Or
community
if we
will
want
come
to
with
include like Experion and Evo together, if we want Evo in the name, there's XPivo or Evo XP. Like, could do
Pivo.
that.
Maybe.
I like XPivo. That's my favorite.
It's not a bad one. Not a bad one.
Trackperience.
Trackperion. Yeah, we
But
tried
the
to
thing
do
is that
we tried to do
experience
Trackmania
sounds like
experience.
trash.
Like what was it? Was it just no, it was it Tracksperience? Was the one that we like so there was one name that we like thought was like really cool, and it was Tracksperion or something like that, I think it was, or whatever. But it like the way when it looks written out, it looks so ugly. I was like, nobody would attend Tracksperion or something like that. Yeah, it looks ugly. But yeah.
Experience. It sounds so it's great so badly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess there's no other questions, so that is going to be the end.
We can call it a day.
We can call it a day. It's been a good long podcast. We got to talk and learn more about each other, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure that you are leaving feedback for our podcast here if you have anything. Wait, you have a question. Okay, go Nevovo. Do it now, really quick. Import, yes.
There's surely still some random bits we can throw in here and there. Like,
Shorty D, showcase some.
Is in fact still playing Trackmania.
Shorty, showcase some punching bag skills.
No. Like, fun fact, I have really bad wrists, and I actually have like a wrist injury that didn't heal right. So no, I literally would hurt myself.
Is it true that you have a seal on your head? What do you mean? I'm very confused.
Wait, you or me or who?
Me, I guess. Well, it's for me. Is it true that I have a seal on my head? I'm not sure what you're referring to. But he's saying my name again. Seal. Oh. So if you're in the Evo Discord and you check out the bot spam channel, we have a bot called Midjourney Bot, and basically you can kind of give it a prompt and it will generate an AI artwork of that prompt. Or you can feed it a couple images and it'll morph those images. Well, XLRB, one of our other admins, decided to morph my image, the Stashport picture that Snippet made. It merged Stashport with the seal face, and So now when you see the image, it's literally, instead of a mustache, it's like the full like stash, whiskers, like face of a seal with merged into my face. And then I have like this weird bump that looks like a cyst on my cheek. It's really weird.
What the fuck am I looking at?
It's
Where is it?
it's in bot spam, in the bot spam channel. But yeah, it's pretty great. Seaport. Yeah, somebody should make that image Quilo, I know you're here. Make that image an emote, and we'll call it Sealport. All right, that is it. We're done here. You guys have a good rest of your day. Lime, Shorty, do you have anything to say before we go?
Thank you for listening and watching us and being here. And remember, you can reach a lot of things if you do things for free. But hopefully you don't have to.
Yeah, maybe the major takeaway is know your worth.
It is. Hey, it's not. It's all about the friends we made along the way, right?
It's about the friends.
We are not
so cheesy.
Real life is not an anime.
It's unless it's my life, then it is an anime. Just a poor anime.
Really poor.
All right. Well, I'm going to get myself in trouble if I keep talking anymore. All right. You guys have a good rest of your evening. Thank you so much. Leave some feedback. Show some love. Follow all our things. You can find it anywhere. Blah, 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 blah. We love you. Goodbye. See you.
Goodbye.
Bye.